Good morning and welcome to your first news bulletin right here on TV3. We are coming to you live from our studios at Today's Weekend. We are also streaming live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Safwa Boahene. Now coming up. About 7 courts have been shut in the Upper East region as renewed Bawku conflict escalates, claiming 16 lives. Electoral Commission of Ghana suspends printing of ballot papers for the Ghana Freedom Party to nominate a new candidate following the death of founder and flag bearer Akua Donkor. Also coming up, parents under pressure as fresh senior high school students are expected to report to school today. So placements were released Monday night. Details of these and many more coming up shortly. Now the details. Fresh senior high school students are to report to school today, barely 72 hours after the release of school placement. While some students are still rectifying the challenges with their placement system, parents are frustrated about the reopening date. But PRO of the Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwarteng, says government has put in measures to ensure students do not feel the impact of the short notice.
Yes, on the face value, the timelines may appear short, but we've put in some mitigation measures to be able to make sure that the impact does not affect students and parents negatively. But of course, if you recall, there is a foundation to this whole academic calendar issues. Of course, proud to, just right after COVID, if you recall, we had a bit of distortion in our academic calendar. And as a result of the distortion within the academic calendar was a bit non-aligned or misaligned. And we, within the Ghana Education Service, the TV service, and of course the Ministry of Education has been taking steps to be able to make sure that we align the calendar post-COVID. If you recall, even in terms of students writing, they write it in May, June. They used to write it in May, June, but recently they wrote it in August, September. Again, there is also the instance of even the consequential outcome or effect of the WASI exams, where students who ordinarily would have taken admission in schools in September this time around has been taking the admission somewhere in December and even in January. So we have been making a lot of efforts to be able to align the academic calendar, to be able to reverse back to the calendar that we had before COVID. And as part of that, we are also mindful of taking steps to mitigate the impact of students so that it does not affect them negatively. It is even the more reason why we introduce what we call the harmonized prospectus. Of course, the whole idea about the harmonized prospectus is also to be able to make sure that parents who ordinarily would have traveled to schools to get the prospectus, come back home and prepare, would have the opportunity to then get the prospectus and not necessarily have to travel to the school like before.
Chief Justice has ordered the immediate closure of the High Court, Circuit Court and District Court in Bolgatanga and all the district courts in Zwarungu, Zebila, Garu and Bongo over safety concerns following resurgence of the Bawku conflict. The decision follows rising concerns voiced by the legal practitioners and other stakeholders regarding the safety of judicial staff and court users amid the ongoing tensions in Bawku. It calls for courts registrars to secure all court assets and ensure they are properly safeguarded during the shutdown. The directive issued on October 29, 2024 aims to safeguard judges, court staff, lawyers and members of the public who use these facilities. Now, the Member of Parliament for Zebila constituency, Cletus Akua, has disputed claims that the ongoing Bawku conflict is purely a chieftaincy matter. He said chieftaincy-related disputes in the area have been resolved and therefore government must approach the current happenings as an attempt by unscrupulous individuals to disturb the peace of the country.
That people or government of the day does not want to address the truth of the matter, does not want to, resolve this matter. There's no chieftaincy dispute pending in Bawku. There's no chieftaincy dispute pending in any court or any administrative body in Bawku or Ghana, for that matter. The Bawku chieftaincy matter have been resolved by the various courts of competent jurisdiction. The last one was the Supreme Court of Ghana in 2003, where the Mampusis filed a writ in the Supreme Court challenging the current Bawku Naba, asking the Supreme Court to make a declaration that the Kusasi man cannot be Bawku Naba except a Mampusi prince, and that the PNDC law 75 of 1983 should be declared null and void, etc., etc. Then, a day to the hearing of the case, the Mampusis threw in the towel. Their lawyers filed a notice of discontinuance of their action in the Supreme Court. But when the case was called and then all the parties were in court in 2003, I was there personally. The Supreme Court judges, presided by late Justice Akua, may he so rest in perfect peace, asked them why they were withdrawing their case with notice we were liberty to come back. And they said that when they read the Bawku Naba's defense, they had no legs to stand. That means they didn't have a good case. But there's no chieftaincy dispute pending in Bawku. The Kusasis are there, the Bawku Naba is there through due process, through rule of law. What is happening now is I call it banditry, criminality, and lack of respect for the rule of law.
Meanwhile, Dr. Adambona also revealed that some 27 disbanded vigilante groups have now metamorphosed into other groups, shooting up the number of vigilante groups in the country to 72, even though the Vigilantism and Other Offences Act has been passed and promulgated. He urged stringent punitive measures to deal with the group leaders.
What we are saying today is they've metamorphosed into something else. Under the Act, the Minister of National Security, under the Act, is required to periodically enhance the lists, periodically through intelligence. And I was part of the discussion that culminated into this law. We had the Hawks, we had the Invisible Forces, we had the Invisible Forces, we had Delta Forces, we had Crocodiles, some names like Taliban Boys, we had some names like the Dragons, we had names like Biafra, we had names like Asamankese Forces, Al-Luta Boys, Al-Qaeda, we had Al Jazeera, Pentagon, the Bench, NATO Forces, Border Bulldogs, Kandahar, we had Bamba Boys, we had BYU, Eastern members, and the names go on, right? And the Rock, about 27 of them. But now the number has gone up to about 72. Yes, who is recording? Who, in the name of God, is taking note of this? The National Security Minister can tell me he doesn't know. He's a friend, Honorable Kanda, but he knows. I'm not paid to do his job, right? And so it is his duty to ensure that when these things come up, in one or two occasions and you investigate, and the name exists, you pencil it down and investigate who are the leaders. Let's get one or two of them punished, and these people will vanish. But unfortunately, the numbers have more than quadrupled, and we are there just watching. So you see, until something happens, it will be difficult for you to be convinced that the numbers have gone up. But at least you know that now people are getting shot from Mamobi all the way to Bawku. And now it is not Womafno, it is firearms being shot, right? Every young person in Ghana who feels I have a bit of power, I'm associated with, some constituencies, whatever, wants a sidearm. They are using them.
Well, away from that, Deputy Minister of Energy John Sani has underscored the need for streamlined regulations to promote local ownership and competitiveness in the energy sector. Speaking at the year's edition of the Ghana Energy Awards in Accra, he highlighted the importance of refining existing frameworks like the Petroleum Local Content and Local Participation Regulations of 2013, which have spurred local business growth and job creation.
A company must have at least 51% of its equity owned by a Ghanaian, with 80% executive and senior management positions and 100% non-management and other positions occupied by Ghanaians to qualify as an indigenous company as part of local content participation in the petroleum and energy sectors. The Deputy Minister emphasized that regulatory improvements along with enhanced skills development and support for local innovation are crucial for Ghana's energy sector to thrive globally.
The amendment of the Regulation 4 and 49 of the LI 2204 to include channel partnership and strategic alliance are all geared towards the optimization of the local content in all petroleum activities, particularly in areas where joint venture formulation is restricted.
Meanwhile, the Oman Hene of the Ogua traditional area, Osabari Makwesiata II, has urged both local and international stakeholders in the energy sector to fully engage in the sector, emphasizing the sector's role in national development.
To our foreign partners, I entreat you to continue collaborating with our local players, ensuring that your investments not only bring success to your businesses, but also create lasting benefits for the communities in which you operate.
The 2024 Ghana Energy Awards was themed The Role of Local Content in Building Ghana's Energy Sector. It featured 25 competitive categories and 5 honors in non-competitive categories. J.K. Hoggle Transport and Company won the Health, Safety, Security and Environmental Excellence Award.
Let's do some more stories. And the Greater Accra chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries has highlighted concerns about the educational system's inability to produce graduates with the necessary skills to meet industry demands. Speaking at the sidelines of the Greater Accra General Meeting, Chonam Akpelo noted this disconnect is further worsened by small and medium-sized enterprises lacking the resources to train young people.
Chairman of Greater Accra Branch of Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Chonam Akpelo, observed a credible and competent workforce is essential for producing the goods needed for the market. He noted that, unfortunately, there is a significant disconnect between educational system and industry needs.
Most of our schools are not necessarily producing the quality of graduates that industry is requiring. At the same time, most of our SMEs, because of their nature, because of how small they are, don't have the capacity and the resources to invest in training the young people that finish our schools for them to absorb.
According to him, the AGI is tackling a pressing issue of mismatch between the quality of workforce and industry requirements.
We are contributing to building the workforce that industry requires by working closely with training institutions like Generations and the universities and the National Service Authority to give the needed skills and capacity to these young people before they are absorbed by industry.
Chief Executive Officer of AGI, Setum Akua, urged government to provide the supportive environment to enhance job creation.
Policies that support industrial development and job creation. Job creation, because the biggest challenge we have in the country is jobs for our teeming youth. We have a large number of people coming out of our universities and they need jobs. One way to create sustainable jobs, not just cosmetics, but real sustainable jobs, is actually in the industrial sector.
This is your election command center, where we bring you all the credible news updates in the world of politics. Now to the EC. The Electoral Commission of Ghana (EC) has suspended printing of ballot papers for the presidential election slated for December 7. This follows the death of founder of the Ghana Freedom Party (GFP) Akua Donkor. The EC says it has taken steps to have the deceased candidate replaced. Here are details of the statement from the EC. The Electoral Commission has today received information of the unfortunate passing of the presidential candidate of the Ghana Freedom Party, GFP, Madam Akua Donkor. May she rest in peace. While the 1992 Constitution and the Public Election Regulations 2020 CI 127 are not clear on processes to follow in the event of the death of a presidential candidate, Article 54 of the 1992 Constitution provides as follows. Where at the close of nominations but before the election, one of the candidates dies, a further period of the 10 days shall be allowed for nominations. The Commission has since informed the GFP to make arrangements to nominate a new candidate and inform the Commission accordingly. Also, in the meantime, the Commission has suspended the printing of presidential ballot papers, which was near completion. All right. She is seen as a go-getter, audacious and development-oriented politician whose exploits brought some development to her hometown, Ejuretia, I beg your pardon, a community in the Ashanti region. The founder of the Ghana Freedom Party, Akua Donkor, was a role model to many women in her hometown.
Akua Donkor began a political journey from here, Ejuretia. She served as an assembly member for Himan Ejuretia in Pobi electoral area before setting her eyes on the presidential race in 2012. She is remembered for some notable projects.
I saw the news about her passing on TikTok, but I didn't believe it till it was announced at the information center. I was very hurt by the news. She was very helpful to us. She even built a bus stop for us, which served as a shelter when it rained.
A role model to many women, her style of politics made Ejuretia one of the popular towns in the Akwa district. To them, they've lost a heroine, but her dedication to development is worthy of emulation.
And may her soul rest in perfect peace. Now to the camp of the NDC. NDC supporters in the Amenfi Central constituency of the Western region besieged the constituency office of the Electoral Commission, calling for the immediate reinstatement of the embattled parliamentary candidate Joanna Jan Kujo. According to them, the basis on which their candidate was disqualified by the Electoral Commission was baseless.
The Electoral Commission disqualified Joanna Jan Kujo on October 16, citing a pending court case that challenges her eligibility to run on the NDC ticket in the 2024 general elections. The constituency secretary for the NDC, Kofi Samoa, read the petition on behalf of the demonstrators.
We would like to make a moment to express our dissatisfaction on the recent pronouncement by the Electoral Commission on the disqualification of our parliamentary candidate of the Amenfi Central constituency, Madam Joanna Jan Kujo. We want to unequivocally stick here and and shall not accept this decision made by the Electoral Commission.
Electoral Commission officer in the district, Fuseni Adonis, assured the demonstrators he will send their petition to the head office.
And I want to assure you that your petition so submitted shall be forwarded to head office for redress. And I can assure you that in the coming days, you shall hear from the commission.
Now to the camp of the NPP. The presidential candidate of the NPP has renewed his commitment to cut down on import duties when voted into office. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was addressing market women and traders at the Central Business District of Accra as part of his campaign tour of the Greater Accra region. Meanwhile, Dr. Bawumia has been engaging Ghanaians through a phone call to vote for him.
The first port of call for the NPP flag bearer was at the Mamprobi Tuesday market, where he exchanged pleasantries with the traders and market women in the Ablekuma South constituency. He later moved to the 31st December market to meet and greet the market women and traders. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made another stopover at Okanshi and the Kantamanto market. Addressing the traders and market women, the NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia renewed his commitment to cut down on import duties. He also spoke about strengthening the existing policies which are currently ongoing.
Flat tax. Flat tax. Container, a 40-foot container. Spare parts, you say a flat tax, 20,000 cities, 20,000. Now
the NPP flag bearer later proceeded to the call center which has been set up by the party. The call center is to afford the flag bearer the opportunity to appeal to Ghanaians for votes.
Assemblyman the who say me policy be wa me ka say ye common fund so ma assemblyman say the ye wo MP common fund no say assemblyman so benya enti adia ejuma ayaye ne nhihye aye wonti na me pese moto aba no ema me na wontumba MPP.
That will be all for the morning news. New Day continues right after this break. My name is Benedicta Safwa Buahine. Thank you for staying with us. Do have a lovely day.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, #1 on the ballot.
Hey, gee. My head really aches. Feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procode.
Procode? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
Let me look at it. This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procode. No, not this.
Oh, but this does the same work, and it's even far cheaper.
No, we insist you give us Procode from Kojak. I don't understand why people give this fake Procode. And where they don't give the fake one, then they give you a similar one with a different name and tell you it works the same. But it is not so. The only Procode we know is from Kojak. If it's not Procode from Kojak, then we won't accept it.
Wow. So this is the original Procode. It has the logo and Kojak boldly written on it.
Yes, for quick and effective relief from headache, flu, nasal congestion and other feverish conditions, insist on Procode from Kojak.
Procode, K-O-J-A-C-H. Procode.
This advert is FDA approved.
Thank you. I hope my dates feel still.
Chese na me ankasa me period na se problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chese na nyana sam ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me mogya mu na mo hwe bibia na so mo medu me fire no ene ma won kra me enu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba head everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nu a ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante
that's end point for you
of akrabeto
hello
hey ohwehwe what che
okay
a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me call you no me Johnson sema na enkoyie en paso na ma yemre nyina na magina sebema na me ni bifie for de e ho na nyina jaresa
you heard everything I have secret end point is my secret end point homeopathic clinic I'm free.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the city and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Your passion, your views unfiltered.
No, he's lying. He has nothing to tell you. Anything he does, then you go and claim the credit.
Your emotion. Talk from the heart.
Today people die because of 300.
Besides the cash prize, the perks that comes with winning, the trip abroad, the top intern also gives you the opportunity to gain advanced studies in
Yeah, cash out *439. I think this thing goes with cash out *439 hash because that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Charlie, let the music just be under.
Roland, I tell you what, last night I was at the band was playing. And then one of the gentlemen from the band came to see me on the side. He said, nah, I tried to cash out this morning. I tried to cash out this morning, but mania fast. So this morning you have to be fast. Dada Cash is here.
Yeah.
So this morning,
why do you call me Dada Cash?
I didn't get his name yesterday, but he's with the military band, the Armed Forces band. You were at the UN Day celebrations last night at the UN office here in Akua around the Richard School. And you weren't fast yesterday. So today you have to be fast because Dada Cash is here. So cash out this morning. Dial *439 hash. And Roland says play how many times?
Play as many times
as you can.
My recommended time is 25. But
25
I don't know
times.
For many people, yeah.
Okay.
Usually I tend to do about 10 to 15.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I was thinking I would win each of the jackpots I haven't won. When I was
Dako. One day. It will happen. And the jackpot is 6,000 cities.
No, 5,000 cities went to 6 people.
Oh my
30,000 Ghana cities.
Imagine you
last
and
Friday.
your family.
Yeah.
You sit down and you play together.
And for many of the winners, I think they were females, right? Yeah. Females.
Lovely.
Largely. Yeah.
Lovely.
There's only one person we didn't call, so it means that the 5 that we spoke to, they're all females.
Nice.
There was one that we called, was in Quantao, so and didn't even know that she had won. And then she looked at it, she was screaming. I said, we'll call you, but we were not even able to call her. You know, the good thing is that at least when you're able to cash out *439 hash, you're able to win multiple times, as many times.
We put a smile on your face.
And yesterday we gave 6 people winning the cash out for the day, so that's 6,000 Ghana cedis just going for the times, and you just spend something little.
So do it. Grab your phone if you're an MTN subscriber or a Telecel subscriber and dial *439 hash, *439 hash, and win. And our children are going back to school. The school placement is out.
Yeah.
And so it's a good time to win some money so you can buy the provisions and things that you need for your chop box and so on. So your children can go to school with a smile on their faces. So cash out this morning, *439 hash.
Well, certainly.
On Telecel or on MTN. Select option 2 for TV3 and follow the prompts. Roland says you should buy 25 tickets.
That's my recommendation.
Minimum.
Minimum, yes. Minimum. But I tend to do 10 to 15. She said me, I don't get cash like that. So that. And Kwesi Mensah watching us in the US, in the United States, says I've been trying to cash out. So I'm not too sure.
You want to cash out in
so
CDs
please
or
send
dollars?
the money to me, Kwesi Mensah, so I'll do it on your behalf. I don't know how it works, but Sherry Giovanni said he's been cashing out, sir. Good morning to you, boss man. Sherry Giovanni.
Anyway.
Money also says he's been cashing out. Courage Kotokawa also says so. Hey, I'm on for. Okay, so you said the BEC. That's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. So this morning, yes, we know that the Ministry of Education has released the 2024-2025 placement results for senior high schools. So some 447,698 students have secured automatic admissions into the senior high school. And so if you're watching us this morning and you're a parent or a caregiver, a guardian, and your child is going to school, we just want to find out how things are going for you. Are you excited? Are they excited to go to school? Have you started preparing? They're supposed to go to school today, right? If I'm right.
Yeah, from today.
They're supposed to start going from today.
From today.
Yes.
So I think appropriate phrase to use from today.
From today going. All right. So these are the numbers we have for you on the screen. So the Ministry of Education indicated that out of the 563,339 results that were received from the WASI, that's the West Africa Exams Council, 553,155 candidates qualified to be placed, and a total of 447,698. That's 80.93% qualified candidates were automatically placed in one of their choices. There's another 104,918 qualified candidates who could not be matched to any of their choices, according to the Ministry of Education statement. But as of this morning, we know that the number of students who are going to school, who have been placed and are going to school, are 447,000. 698 students. And so if you're watching us this morning and you're a parent and you're getting ready to go to school, just call us and let us know the mood in your home, how things are going. Are you ready? Are you ready for your child to go to school? That's the question we're asking this morning. And then we'll go on to big issues.
Well, certainly. So we're having some great discussions. You know that the former president, John Dramani Mahama, has posed 5 questions to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And you know, before 2017, that's for the 2016 campaign, there were 170 questions also posed to Ms. Arthur subsequently. And so he says, so I'm only asking 5 questions. But all dovetails into how the CD has plummeted. You look at the latest World Bank Pulse report indicating that the CD is not one of the best performing currency. And so we're just down there. On the continent. And so what do you, because all feeds into whether we're able to pay the generators of power, because you know sooner or later a number of them, some of you may be experiencing some power outages, etc., is because we're not producing enough. What does it mean? What are the implications for you? So we want to discuss the situation, the forex, the economy, and then also power, and what the Institute of Energy Security as well as all of the ASEP have all been saying about the current trend as it is. And as you know, the Speaker also is resisting any attempt to make sure that that order that has been given in the ruling by the Supreme Court will be served to him. So it says the process of service, if you take a look at where it has been filed by Sorry at Law, and subsequently you take a look at what also has been said by other legal people, you get to have a reasoned understanding why he says that. All right. So that's it.
All right. So it's now time for This Morning, and you can call us as soon as we display the numbers on the screen. You're welcome back. It's time for This Morning. We're talking about the school placement. Students are supposed to start going to school from today. If you're a parent and your child has been placed, would like you to call us and let us know how it's going at home. Are you ready for your child to go to school? Our first caller has just joined us. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good morning, sir. What's your name?
Good morning. I'm Kingsley, calling from Tichimai.
Kingsley from
Kingsley,
Tichimai.
good morning.
Good morning. Kingsley, are you a parent?
Not a parent really, but a teacher.
A teacher?
Okay. Yes, and I have a sister who is going to school. So
all right, amazing.
Sure.
All right.
Congratulations to you.
Yes, congrats to her. Where is she going?
Pardon me?
Which school is she going to?
Yes, she has gotten admission to St. Francis Girls at Upper West region.
Amazing. Okay. Congratulations to her. Is she ready to go to school? Are you ready?
St. Francis is in Jurapa?
Upper West.
Yes, please. That is in Jurapa, Upper West, exactly. Yes, my special greetings to your listeners and to TV3, all workers.
Thank you.
I think it's really very tough at this point in time, and especially looking at the time the placement has been released. I think the placement was just released yesterday.
On Monday?
No. Yes.
No, it was released. It was released 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That'll be 3 days ago.
Yeah,
3 days ago.
But there were some complications. There were a lot of problems concerning the placement. And as we speak, I have a sister who is a headmistress to one of the secondary schools. And normally what they do is they have some codes that they use to key in to know that the child has been admitted into the school, which is always part of the admission form. As we speak, those codes have not been indicated on the admission forms. And the unfortunate thing is that, a child completes, let's say, the current school the child has completed has to be on the admission form, indicating that he or she is coming from this school and he is admitted into that secondary school.
Okay.
Some have been exchanged. A child, let's say, for example, you've completed RC, let's say RC JHS, maybe in Tichimai here. You go to print your admission form, and it has been indicated that you have completed your school, maybe even in the Western region, which you've never been there before.
I see. So there are mistakes on the form.
Exactly. So being able to go to school today, especially, it will be a whole help because of some of these things. And
so,
besides,
if there's that mistake, does that keep you from going to the school? I mean, the admission still holds, right?
Yes, the admission still holds. But the point is that as to whether after the changes, the prospectus that you have to get, some of them are prescribed by the school that you have been admitted into.
Okay. All right.
So, yes, so some of these things are a little bit challenging. And besides, the time of releasing the admission to, at least it should have been 1 week for some people to even be able to get access to it.
But wait,
so honestly speaking, yeah.
Would it matter? You knew that your child had written BEC, and so you'll be going, so there are some basics you need to get, right?
Yeah, sure. There are some basic things that definitely you have to buy. But the schools prescribed items.
Okay, I
get you. Some of them are specific to the school. All right. Thank you so much for calling us, and we appreciate it.
All right. Let me just read a couple of messages. I have this one from Kwabna Boateng from Isha. It says that my daughter chose St. Louis and got St. Louis, and that was massive for us. The only difficulty is I'm told that the grading system seemed to have now been altered a bit. So perhaps maybe an education from the Ministry of Education will help to explain to us how the grading system currently is. I think that we'll try and get the Ministry of Education. But also doing some great work at the Free SHS Secretariat is Nanafra Sika. Good morning to you, Nana Frasika. I wish you all the best for the day as well. And the minister and the rest of the team who are doing some work, great one on the sector. Now we have a caller.
Yes, another caller joining us on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the show. Do you have a child or someone in your household who's going to secondary school?
Yes, I have a brother and a sister, but my point is about the opening date.
The opening date?
Yes, the opening date.
What's your problem?
The students are supposed to open school today.
Yes.
And as it stands, they are supposed to start with the new curriculum. And in the new curriculum, it is designed weekly, week by week. But this week, this is what the children are supposed to be doing, and the number of weeks you are supposed to spend in school. So I don't know, this will go a long way to affect their studies. Unless, of course, there's going to be an extension of the number of contacts in the semester.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's
I'm happy. I've been trying to reach TV3 for so long.
Oh.
A number of months. Today is my first time of getting to you.
We're glad you got through on this day in particular. We'll try to bring you answers to the questions that you have asked, okay?
Mr. Roland. He's my role model.
Mr. Roland.
Thank you very much.
Dada Cash.
Don't do journalism, man. They'll insult you. Okay, and you won't get money. Okay, so since I'm your role model, that's my advice. Sherry Giovanni says, reporting of SHS students, headline. I think the reporting day for the new SHS students is impromptu. I would have wished it's pushed to the middle of November for adequate preparation by both students and parents and guardians. Well, if you've also been watching TV3, especially our news segments or bulletins, you would know that the education from, or the explanation from the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, is that since COVID, our cycle, changed. So we're now trying to get to the last quarter. That's the October to December period to January, where we'll have the first, what used to be first term or the first semester, and then we go to the second one. So I think that's the explanation why the reopening is very immediate or impromptu. People are saying things in my ear.
Hello, good morning. We have a caller joining us from Bawi. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Africa.
Africa?
Yes, sir.
I see. That's your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
That's a very nice name.
Africa.
Africa. All right. Africa, talk to us.
Now you see, this government is confused. So
why do you say that?
Everything is confused in Ghana. Everything in Ghana is confused.
Why are you saying that?
In fact, yesterday I was riding in town, and I saw using a traffic light. The traffic light was coming
green. When it comes green,
all right,
doesn't go to yellow.
I was hoping we could talk about the school placement this morning. We don't have so much time, so if we get straight to it, it's time for Johnny's Bite. Unfortunately, we have to let you go. Please, when you call us, let's stick to the subject matter of the morning. Johnny Hughes is now ready with Johnny's Bite.
Presence of my enemies, you anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and for those who take the trouble to share the link and with family and friends and your acquaintances, thank you very much indeed. For those who knock off work in Europe and in other places just to come and watch Johnny's Bite, those who make time, set the alarm, wake up in the middle of your sleep to come and watch and go back, thank you very much indeed. We don't take your commitment and your comments and your concentration on Johnny's Bite for granted at all. This morning, I am tempted to tell you that you have to always salute your enemies and those who hate you. Oh yes. Those who hate you and those you think are your haters or your enemies, you have to spend time to salute them. You know why? They are the only people who think that you are better than them, so they hate you. So this time, don't be angry at your enemies. Like them, because they are the only people that think that you are better off. You're better than them. That's why they hate you. Nothing more, nothing less. So like them. So you see all those people who actually come, they watch Johnny's Bite anyway, they say, I hate this guy, I don't like him, it's okay. The things, then somebody would ask, but the things the guy is saying, and the things, the truth, yeah, the things are the truth, but I don't like him because he's always, no. I am grateful for your life. Please join the stream and share, like and share. The hashtag is Johnny's Bite. Johnny's Bite Bawku viewers be brave. Now, as a country, is it not interesting that as we speak, Galamsey is still going on, and everybody has taken our minds off Galamsey. We're drinking mercury, cyanide, lead, chlorine, alum put together. We're drinking all with the mud and the dirt. We're drinking everything. And everybody is pretending that Galamsey is no longer a big conversation. Have you come to the realization? You see how vulnerable we are as a people when red herrings are thrown at us the way we pick the red herrings? Yes, that's what we have become as a country. And today is the President's Day of birth, just like me. We're Wednesday borns, and big ups to all Wednesday borns. I remember when organized labor met the president. No, disorganized labor met the president. The president said he needed some time to be able to deal with the Galamsey issue, because the Galamsey is a national emergency. The Galamsey is a national security issue. The Galamsey is a very thorny issue. The Galamsey is an issue of life and death. Galamsey is an issue that can give you kidney, liver, and all other complications. The Galamsey is something that is going to hurt the future and our generations that are after us. The president says, I need time to think about it. Now, ask yourself, since the president asked for time, and up until now, has he not had enough time to make a bold solution known to the people? Now I'm asking you, the president asked for time. You supported him and said, let's give him time. Some of you even said, let's postpone the fight against Galamsey until after the elections. Now the time that the president asked for, is the time not enough? Have we not had enough time? We have had a whole month of October. Is that not enough time? 1 full month to take a decision on an emergency that affects the very lives of the people, because without water we are all dead. And if your lungs are polluted, the food you eat is poison. And if you use that same water to wash your skin, you know that the skin being the largest organ in the body, you are actually endangering your life. So the president asked for time, and I'm asking, the time that the president asked for, is the time not up yet? Has he not had enough time? Or maybe the issue of Galamsey doesn't matter to the president that much, so yeah, business as usual. Because this morning, there are people who are getting ready, if they are not there already, who are doing Galamsey. Over the night, there are people who did Galamsey. This afternoon, if you go, you find people who are doing Galamsey. Now the question is, so I told you that they were setting up the Ghana Armed Forces up for public ridicule. The soldiers who we claim we marshaled immediately, I told you, we will soon put a bunch of jokers together to say we have arrested people and we'll put them before the cameras. I told you. And my mouth didn't even fall, as they say in the local parlance. I didn't even finish speaking. And that action took place. The soldiers and the people, we said, oh, they are the task force. We have put them on the water. They are stopping Galamsey, blah, blah, blah. Adam Sremsai has shown you that as soon as they come and leave, the people return to the very same Galamsey sites. So are we serious about fighting Galamsey? Are we very serious about it? Bawku is a very important conversation. But you saw how swiftly the president organized a national security meeting, chaired it, and made a definite decision that put the curfew back on the people, extend it. The president is alive. He has asked for more time to deal with Galamsey, which affects everybody in this country, apart from those who import water into this country. He asked for more time. Organized labor, they melted before the president. They were supposed to be the last hope of the Republic of Ghana. They melted. Some say there was inducement. I don't know about it. But that's what their members are saying. That their members feel disappointed in their leadership. They gave an ultimatum, the ultimatum elapsed, then they gave another one, and then they gave another one, and then the president asked for time. Now, that time that the president asked for, I'm asking this morning, has the time not elapsed? Has the president not have had enough time to consult with his council of state, his party elders, whoever he has to consult with? And at this time, it's been a full month. It tells you that Galamsey, unlike the National Cathedral, is not a priority of priorities for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo William. It's not. It's not. I told you a few weeks back that SHS1 students, and we keep talking about free as I told you that we will be adding the new numbers. You wait, this week, when the Form 1s go to school, right, you will hear new figures about free SHS, but nobody will talk about quality. We'll only be talking about quantity for political expediency and for political benefit and advantage. Nobody will be talking about the quality. And parents are going through it. The portals are open, you do self-placement, and in 2 days you are supposed to cough out the money and take your children to school. And everybody is quiet. When we were in school, our parents had a breathing space for about 3-4 months to plan for a new academic year. They will do their own balabala to be able to buy everything you need for the school. They'll buy your books, they'll buy new kambu for you, they'll buy new bag, they'll buy new. That's where the term new wele came from. When you go to school and the new year, everybody has new wele, a new bag, a new shoe, a new kambu, something, new socks, something, a new uniform. That's where the term new wele came from. It's not for Gen Zs. Today, what is the situation? Somebody writes an exam. Before the exams, the exam paper scripts are even marked for them to know that you have passed or failed. They say the person has been promoted to the next class the same day. Let's say today, Wednesday, I sit for my paper. By 12 p.m., I'm done with my paper. They say, you are in Form 2. So what kind of assessment went into it? What kind of assessment went into it? And then now you're going to bring in the Form 1s. And the boarding schools will tell you that when the children come, they spend time to do some cleaning. The current Form 1s who are going to Form 2 in this very last term, I'm told spend about just 3 weeks in school. So how are we educating the next generation to be able to take over the reins of this country and to compete effectively and efficiently with other people in other countries and as global citizens? How are we doing that? When you ask the questions, they say, why are you asking questions? But these are very, very weighty issues. National conversations that might be had. I'm asking, the president has had enough time to think about Galamsey. What do you see, Mr. President? What is your decision? The Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, is this the best you could have done for our children and the learners and their parents? I'm asking questions. Now, the Chief Justice of the Republic, Her Ladyship, Justice Sokun, Yesterday, there was a statement from the Office of the Chief Justice, and said that some courts up there in Bolga and other places has had to be shut because of the security issues there. And then I keep asking myself, okay, so let's read it so nobody says I'm putting something on anybody. From the Judicial Secretary to the C distribution, and it's down there. Carbon copy to the Honorable Lady Chief Justice. Subject closure of courts dated the 29th of October 2024. The attention of the Honorable Lady Chief Justice has been drawn to concerns expressed by lawyers and other stakeholders about the current situation in Bawku and its environs. In order to ensure the safety and security of judges, staff, lawyers, and court users, the Honorable Lady Chief Justice has ordered the closure of the following courts with immediate effect until further notice: High Court Bolgatanga, Circuit Court Bolgatanga, District Court Bolgatanga, District Court Zwarungu, District Court Zebila, District Court Garu, District Court Bongo. Registrars are to keep all assets of the court in proper custody, and all staff are to stay safe. Please accept the compliments of the Honorable Lady Chief Justice, Justice Sarah Pamela C.A. Cranting, Justice of the Appeal Court, signed this. And just 2 days ago, I was telling you that, look, we only talk about Bawku when we talk about chieftaincy conflict. Honorable Cletus Avoka says there's no chieftaincy conflict. It's just political undertones that are there. Stephen Asawabati says, oh, there are no political undertones. And then you ask yourself, but all the money that we've been voting into Bawku to go and ensure that there is peace, what have we gained from it? If you keep making a certain kind of investment, and you're not getting the kind of results you're looking for, don't you change your strategy? And just 2 days ago, I was telling you that, look, there are Ghana water staff in Bawku. There are Netco staff in Bawku, right? There are staff of Vodafone, MTN. There are staff of Highway Authority. There are staff of all the institutions you have in your region where there's peace and calm. Do you find some in Bawku? How are they surviving? The teachers, the nurses, the doctors. Today, the leadership, the Chief Justice says, look, right, we can't continue like this. Please stay at home. Let's be safe. Will other institutions also crack the whip and say that? And yesterday when somebody saw this, somebody says, oh, let's be careful so that these places that have been mentioned, these Zwarungu, Garu, Zebila, Bolga, let's be careful so that these places, we don't have a repetition of what happened at Santro Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi. And there are cases before the courts where people want closure. There are cases before the court where people want closure. There are people on remand. Yeah, there are people on remand. They appear and they just say, oh, please. The prosecution makes an argument that, oh, it will interfere with investigations, so remand. Now the courts are shut. What happens to those people? Those people who are on remand, what happens to them? It has implications on all manner of things. Can you imagine if you are arrested in the course of this time when the courts are not working? What will happen to you? Will you be kept in there forever? Will you be granted bail? I don't know. I'm as confused as you are. That's why I'm asking the questions. And I hope that somebody comes to answer the questions. So the conflict in Bawku is a big issue that we must not toy with. And you ask the national security, you ask the security apparatus, you ask them, did they not see the individual who has gone there, who has brought this whole noise and this whole confusion and people dying? Did they not know, did they not pick intelligence that this was going to happen? The women in Bawku, they are not happy. Yesterday, they burnt car tires. They burned their teeth. They are angry. And yesterday, I told you about women and children. They burnt car tires. For the first time, they went on a demonstration. Show the images. Let's see the images. They spoke up. The women, they spoke up. They are angry because they are the mercy of all the nonsense that is happening. And I will put it mildly like that. They are at the mercy of all that is happening in Bawku. Why? Why? let's hear the women. One of the ladies, one of the leaders of the group. And these are women, whether they are from this tribe or that tribe, they're united. And they were on the streets asking questions. Let's listen to the lady. There was one of them who spoke with a correspondent, Castro Senyala. Let's listen to her. And you see, you can actually tell. Let me leave this under it. You can tell the pain. They're speaking from a position of pain. They're speaking from a position of pain. All the monies that we vote, say 10 million, then we throw it at Bawku, 10 million, then we throw it at Bawku. What has been the benefit and essence of the 10 million we keep throwing at Bawku? How has it helped? Do we need to change the strategy? Let's hear the lady.
It's severe, and the government is supporting one side. That is what we know. The government is supporting the Mapuses and leaving the Kusasis. Meanwhile, we are all voting for the one government. There are Kusasi members who are voting for MPP. So the killing Bawku is very bad, and the killing Bindu Wale is very bad. It's very bad. As far as they are imposing curfew in Bawku, there should be curfew in Wale. And his government, give us a break. Give us a break. Soldiers again. No peace in Bawku. No peace. Abagre is here with the help of the government. But they are saying from the local government who has brought in inside. So we don't know what's happening in Bawku again.
Well, the women have spoken, and I'm sure that in our traditional setting, where there's confusion and the women speak, usually there's peace and calm. I hope that those who have the authority and those who have the mandate to take certain decisions that will make sure that Bawku is quiet and peace and calm again, peaceful and calm again, so that people can return to work and earn an honest living. They're tired, honestly, they're tired. 4 years. 4 years. Curfew today, curfew tomorrow. 4 years. How? Bring me down to Accra. Let's go to the University of Ghana Medical Center. Yesterday, they wrote a love letter. And I'd like us to read the love letter together. This is from the University of Ghana Medical Center. October 29, RF UGMC ORTHO author-V1.92.10.0003. To whom it may concern, medical report, Errolad Salifu Amwaku. The above client presented to the University of Ghana Medical Center on 12 October 2024. He was referred from Legon Hospital with an open right ankle dislocation and facial lacerations. There was a brief period of loss of consciousness. He was managed by both the plastic and orthopedic surgeons. He had debridement, spanning right ankle external fixation, and a flap cover on 14th October 2024. Findings at surgery were: 1. An open right ankle joint dislocation with an unstable joint, Gastillo 3B. 2. Tear of an anterior and posterior talofibular and calcaneofibular ligaments. On 21st October, he had split skin grafting of his post-traumatic ulcer. He is currently mobilizing non-weight bearing on his right leg. He was discharged on 28th of October 2024 to be reviewed on OPD basis. He is currently not fit to be sent to the police station for interrogation. When he is done with treatment, I will inform you accordingly. Signed by Dr. Fred Salawu, and he is an orthopedic and something at the University of Ghana Medical Center. This is in relation to the unfortunate accident that happened at East Legon, where 2 teenage girls lost their lives. One of them, I'm told, is the only daughter and only granddaughter of a parent and grandparents. And this involves the son of a known prophet in this country, Prophet Salifu Amwaku, and that's his son, Elrad Salifu Amwaku. Now, I don't want to remind the families who have lost their beloveds of their pain. But this is to the University of Ghana Medical Center and to Dr. Salu. May it not be that this, as the public are saying, is a certain cover-up. Because you see, The families of the two girls are looking for closure. They are in pain. I'm sure that you've seen the interviews that the families have granted the media. They say they want closure. They want justice to be done. And I am not questioning your professionalism in any way. I'm just saying that the families are looking for closure. And yesterday, if I'm sure that you have social media pages and people who do your social media for you, if you had gone on social media, the sentiments being expressed that this could be a cover-up or trying to buy time. I don't want to believe that. I am just saying that, please, as soon as possible, if it is, let's get closure for the families so that they can have their peace of mind. There are people who have suggested very brutal things, but I'm not interested in those. I'm just asking for closure for the families. And as of now, you have said that the boy is not fit to appear for interrogation. That's fine. But when he is fit, let us also know, and in good time, so the families can have closure. Because I come in contact with people who have gone through such situations, and sometimes when they speak to you and express their pain, you feel the pain even though you are not in the story. And as a journalist, you're not supposed to be in the story, but sometimes you feel the pain. And I'm coming from that position of pain to ask that question, that let's do all we can as quickly as possible to get the families to have closure so that at least the pain can go away. I greet you, University of Ghana Medical Center. Now, take me to Parliament. Things are happening in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it's asked a question in Parliament. And quickly, let's look at the document from Parliament and then we can wrap up. Yes, there's a query. Put the document up, please. Now, this is a memo. It's a query. Office of Chamber Reporting, memo. Editor of Debate, Chamber Reporting, to Senior Executive Officer Thomas Busumpim, dated the 21st of October 2024. Query. Pursuant to Regulations 51C and 51C and A of the Parliamentary Service Staff Regulations 2019 CI 118, explain why disciplinary action should not be instituted against you for photocopying the draft Hansard of Thursday 17th October 2024, making same available to some other persons without authorization. Your response should be submitted to the Editor of Debates, Chamber Reporting, by 4 p.m. on Wednesday, that's today, the 23rd of October. Now, that's last week, 23rd of October 2024. Now, Mr. Speaker is asking a senior executive officer a deep question. Now, here's what Franklin Cudjoe also had to say, and I'm just quickly running through them. Franklin Cudjoe said this. Franklin Cudjoe is the president of Imani Africa. He says, folks, I tend to see reason in the reliefs the Speaker's lawyers, Stadio Sorry at Law, are seeking to correct the Supreme Court in the case of the vacancies MPs. This same Supreme Court told us Santo Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi to go to the High Court to start our SAL election case, where we had come to them to deal expeditiously with our rights that were violated and had the highest risk of being violated if it didn't step in. They threw us out. Guess what? We went to the High Court, and after 3 years, the High Court said it had no jurisdiction to hear our case. What was so special about the 4 constituencies whose MPs had abandoned in their hearts that the Supreme Court can even entertain an ex-party motion and rule on that? Why didn't the plaintiffs go to the High Court where they must legally start from? Why didn't the Supreme Court rely on the same principle as applied against the Santo Kofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi to these 4? This is clearly a gangster system, and that's what Franklin Cudjoe of Imani Africa, that's what he thinks here. Now, in wrapping up this morning's conversation, there are comments that have been made about the death of Madame Akua Donkor, and we empathize and sympathize with the Ghana Freedom Party, of which she was flag bearer. Questions have been asked, and I've seen that Article 50, Clause 4 have been quoted. Sections or regulations of the CI 2020 that runs our elections, 127 has also been quoted. Now, everybody is looking at the Electoral Commission to see the decision that they take and the finality that they bring, because, you know, the NPP's Dr. Bawumia is comfortable at number 1. The NDC's John Mahama is comfortable at number 8. Akua Donkor was happy at number 3. Alan Tremantin is happy at number 13. Cheddar is happy at number 12, and many others. If, for want of a better scenario, Akua Donkor's party decide that we do not have a replacement for Akua Donkor, so we are pulling out of the elections, what happens? Is the election commission going to do a realignment and keep Dr. Bawumia at number 1 and just push the others up? Or will they have to do a reballoting? And what happens to the materials that have already been printed? Breaking the 8, holding the 8, stopping the 8, or your number 1, all those things. What happens to them? And this is novel because it has never happened before. But everybody is watching the Electoral Commission because yesterday the Electoral Commission made us aware that they had actually started the printing of the ballot sheet and they were almost finished with the printing of the ballot sheets. So what happens? Because now, if you look at the provisions of Article 50, Clause 4, it talks about a 25-day period within which, and then it talks about the period before the 25-day period. As it stands now, we are before the period of the 25-day period. So the 10-day period that the GFP would have been allowed after they had informed the Electoral Commission to make a nomination, it still applies in this matter. But the question is, everybody is watching the Electoral Commission. What will they do? What will the Electoral Commission really do? Will they have a reballoting session? Or will we just push the numbers up? I leave it to your good judgment. But good morning to you, Madam Jean Mensah. Good morning to you, Dr. Bosman Asari. Good morning to you, Mr. Samuel Tete. And good morning to you all. Everybody is watching you right now. The whole country is watching you, and people are saying what they want to say. But I'm saying we are just watching you, the whole country. Please note these numbers down and call me after this break.
Papa Sammy, I beg if you find something small, give us.
Bro Sammy, you see, nobody say boys no one do nothing and just they rely on handouts. Jobs no deep.
I understand your hassle. Hope they come. John Mahama, they come do the National Apprenticeship Program where he go sort you guys.
Brother Sammy, waiting with that.
John Mahama knows say no be everybody where won't work for office. Like me.
That one day is true.
Under the National Apprenticeship Program, young men and women where they won't learn craft will be enrolled under the program and attached to a senior craftsman who will train them for free.
I beg you, mechanic day inside. Me like this. I don't want to learn mechanical, but the course no.
Mechanics day inside. Yeah. Organizing, dressmaking, fabric making, catering, hairdressing, tiling, painting. What they even sweet about this whole thing is say when you plead, the NDC government go make sure say they go give you certificate where you go fit take go look for job anywhere.
That's sweet. Oh, that's be wonderful.
Another wonderful thing be say when you plead, the NDC government go set you up with startup capital and equipment to make sure you can start your own business.
Wow! I dey go shopping my town wait 7th December.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from unique natural herbs to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums. This advert is FDA approved.
Introducing Rexona Non-Stop Protection 72-hour anti-pest
of Accra.
Good afternoon. Can you please show me where the Presby Church is?
Oh, sure. Go straight. 10 left at the big mango tree with the broken branches with most of the mangoes falling. Right after that tree, there is a watcher cellar. If you reach, ask there. Anybody will show you.
Why the Black Stars stick to the field? Every Ghanaian becomes a coach. Why Fatika on to be dribble? The coach must go. The sacred cue for our beloved Gobe. As we wait patiently, rehearsing the perfect vibe.
Have you acted? Mami Gobe Nubi. The Kokono. One Garino.
These, my dear ones, are some few moments that makes our Ghana truly special.
And as we share these stories, let us also remember a plate of lele rice, connecting our hearts through the flavors of our culture. Lele rice, ye nimno free tete. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Ma. How are you and the kids?
Grandma, I miss you.
Is that Akua? Didn't she go to school?
Oh no, she's just recovering from malaria.
You see why I don't like to come and visit?
Oh Ma, now we have the new treated nets for every room.
Are you serious?
Yes, even your room has the new treated nets.
Adwa, then you'll be seeing us soon.
Yeah, now I sleep under my new treated net every night.
Are you serious?
Your insecticide-treated net now comes with a new type made for your sleeping comfort. The new net is very strong, highly resistant and just as effective. Remember, a treated net is better than no treated net. Sleep under it every night and throughout the night to avoid malaria. Let's come on board Good Life to eliminate malaria now.
Good Life, live it well, it's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID and the US President's Malaria Initiative.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, #1 on the ballot.
If you're looking to listen to thought-provoking conversations,
To avoid any further brouhaha, what is English? Just say, I will do nothing.
I will ghost him. So like what you feel like
I'm suddenly not feeling too well.
Answers to life's big questions.
Has someone asked me to do Gapoha before?
I don't drink.
You go to church and pray for miracles. But that's somebody's money.
The owner is going to come.
For a show filled with excitement, laughter, and unforgettable moments.
Me, I live life full of drama to the left, to the right. If you see me, look this side,
To games that keep you laughing.
What in the name of Peppa Pig is going on here?
Just As Tonight is the place to be, where the fun never stops.
Just As Tonight shows Fridays at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Onga, Betway.
Get ready for the culinary showdown of the year. Kitchen War! Champions will rise.
Tell me what you're cooking.
Who will impress our judges and who will go home? Tune in to find out. This is Kitchen Wars Season 3.
Kitchen Wars is brought to you by Kivo Foods, Everpack, Mazim Foods, Miss Cookie Spices.
Elevate your Sundays with the ultimate mix of entertainment that will get you moving, touching stories that will inspire.
When you were going through this,
I have to be a divorce.
Why?
Because it got to a time that I have to choose my life over my marriage.
The latest in current affairs.
If you stop liking my music because of my political affiliation, you never liked my music.
No minister or party person can say that they gave me cash in my time of work and none of them.
Fun games for the whole family.
The Day Show, Sundays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Cowbell Coffee, Onga.
Well, welcome back. We hope that you did enjoy that edition of Johnny's Bite. You can get the latest streams from their studios, as also you get to listen and watch at the same time through their social media handles, 3FM 92.7. And as you do that, please know that we also encourage you, as always, that when you're watching us, please make sure that you share the stream. It's a good time for all of us to have some great interactions. Already joining us, we have Obrim Ponkaba. Kwesi Mensah joining us from the US. We're grateful. Money already making a number of write-ups. Neodate Mails, please make sure you share the stream. And PHK, good morning to you as well. Laurentia, all of you. Please, when you share the stream also, let's be part of the conversation. And it's about all the conversations on the current happenings in the energy sector. We know that Sunon Asogli, for example, they have, well, not say that they've shut down, but just not producing power. And you know that there's a certain cycle where there's demand, and the call for the IPPs to increase their supply would also be there. And the demand is always there. So if an IPP, for example, makes a decision because they're not being paid, I mean, literally, or just saying that plainly, then it means that there have to be reasons being adduced for it. Already, the finance minister, when he went to those meetings with the IMF in the United States of America, said that Sunon Asogli are showing bad faith, but they also say that we need our money. Over 250 they are owed, I think, from the last count. We're talking about $1 million. All right, why? Are we in some difficulty? Are we facing that? Are you also experiencing those intermittent power outages that are being experienced? And if you are, please make sure you contribute to our discussion. And secondly, the speaker has been having a pushback, but we can, transpose that conversation about Akua Donkor's passing and what the statement from the Electoral Commission also implies. Please make sure you cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. And I keep telling you, I had a great time on Friday when we had the mega jackpot, option 8 being the option. So on that Friday, when they chose option 8, we had 6 people winning 5,000 Ghana cedis each. And this morning, I'm telling you, try us, all right? And make sure that you are part of those who tend to win. Yesterday, we gave out as well over 6 people winning. And star 439 hash should be your short code. Make sure that you stake us many times as you can. Shaibu Mohammed joining us this morning. Let me just introduce our guest for the morning. And Dennis Apia Labiampofo is with the Manifesto Committee of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the MPP. Thank you for joining us. How are you? Nice having you. Great guy. All right. And I love your top. Who's the designer? I see.
This one, I pick up for Kant.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you want to rhyme with the boys on the streets,
no,
right?
No, it be true. I'll be street boy.
Yeah.
I'm there for the streets, like Dr. Bawumia would say.
I understand. It makes a lot of sense to communicate that way. But for those also who have joined us, we have Dr. Samia here. How are you? Medical doctor by profession. Did you go for nights?
Of course.
You went for nights. You must be tired.
Very, very tired. But for the love of this country, for the sheer want of change, as communicated by the people of Ghana, it is important that we contribute our quota to, the conversations going on, what the people of Ghana are saying, how they are clamoring for change. I cannot sit aloof and not contribute my little to the overwhelming change that the people of Ghana want to exercise on December 7, 2024. So I'm happy to be here this morning to engage in the conversation.
All right, and then joining us is Derek Emmanuel Hatcher. Derek Emmanuel is an economist and then researcher and policy analyst with the Institute of Energy Security. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland.
All right, how's Nana Moisi? He's fine?
He's doing well.
All right.
God's grace.
And the man who always makes my morning when he's able to come here, representing Alan Chairmanting, the Movement for Change, the Alliance, Solo. That's Solomon. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and the leader of the Movement for Change greets you, Mr. Alan Chairmanting. Yeah. We are embarking on a Greater Accra tour, the caravan tour.
There's a Greater Accra tour?
Yes.
When is that?
It's massive. We started on Monday, and we've been doing the retail campaign.
How have been the interaction so far?
It's been positive, very positive. Ghanaians are yearning for that positive change that brings transformation, and that is what is the message on the street. So we are very grateful. They should keep coming. On Saturday, there will be a mammoth walk to establish our authority in this region. That Alan is poised for that famous victory come December 7th.
You're saying that Greater Accra is for Alan?
Absolutely.
Movement for Change and the Alliance?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so let's just deal with the vex matters, because there are a number of reasons why the debts keep piling. There's the latest World Bank Pulse report. It's indicating that the Ghana cedi is the worst. And so forex losses have accounted for us owing the generators a lot of money. So we'll take you through that. The World Bank Pulse report is the latest just published. You go to the site of the World Bank, just Google a World Bank Pulse report, October. It's indicating the Ghana cedi is among the worst performing currencies, if not on the continent, in the sub-region as well. So Ghana, a currency of Nigeria, and then also Ethiopia, are among the worst performing in Africa this year, and their currencies continue weakening. We'll put that on the screen for you. So it's not as if we're just reading it. So while demand for foreign exchange remains pressing, and you know what we need to exchange by way of Ghana cedi to go into dollars and then go and buy fuel each week. It's even not just each month, each week. And the demand is very high, all right? Now, you also find that when you get onto the market, the Ghana cedi is going for, that is, if you want $1, that note, one, you need 16 Ghana cedi, 70 pesos. Pardon me for the dollar sign there. So you need 16 cedis, 70 pesos to get $1. So when you go to the airport beneath the trees there, or you go to Newtown, Accra Newtown, or you go to Tudu, or where I usually like driving past, you go to Tema Community 1 Center, as if you're going straight towards the harbor. You find the Nigerians and all of them that they are Bochi people. So it's been sold 17 Ghana cedis. If you need it on high demand, it means that you want proper mobilization. They can even sell it for you higher because it's a demand supply situation. The pound there, it is where it is. And then we have the euro as well. But these have direct effects, not only on your living standards, but also why the IPPs are complaining and whether we can get enough. Why are we having this situation? All right. And Mr. Derek Hache, why are the IPPs complaining when the finance minister says, look, you and I, we have an agreement. We have a gentleman's agreement that even though we haven't paid you, keep producing. And so when you stop like the way Sunon Asogli has done, that's bad faith. Why is the finance minister's position very important?
All right, thanks for the opportunity. Basically, you have to know that the IPPs are not for the Christmas. They also run with bank finance. Some of them are on credit. And so anytime that they produce they generate power for Ghanaians, they expect that the money will be paid. But when the finance minister says that they are acting in bad faith, then it's basically because the finance ministry has not been able to keep up to its own words. When you take a look at Sonin Asogli, as at last year, September 2023, government was supposed to give them $90 million. The government gave them $60 million with a remaining of $30 million. That $30 million was supposed to be paid by February 2024. By February 2024, that money was not paid. The government of Ghana also did not comply with the cash waterfall mechanism of $7 million per month to Sonin Asogli. And so if you do not comply with your own commitment, then definitely there will be a threshold that these IPPs will not be able to go beyond. Because going beyond means that it will be a cost to them. And if it's going to be a cost to them, how do they continue with production? They'll have to continue, they'll have to cut down production, or they'll have to shut down. And as we are experiencing right now, it's because we do not have the money to pay them. And it's not because they are acting in bad faith, but just because the finance ministry has not been that truthful with them.
All right. So if that's the point, and then let me come to you, Mr. Labiampofo. If I can use your surname, Mr. Right. Okay. But so it will mean that there's great reason for that. Why is government not able to pay the generators of power in time?
Okay, thank you very much, Roland. I think that the issue of our electricity situation is factually dear to everybody because it affects and it connects to almost every aspect of our lives. The businesses depend on it, our homes depend on it. So it is very much understandable if Ghanaians get worried when there is a shake-up in the electricity situation. And it is more because we are all probably suffering from what you may want to call post-doomsday trauma. Post-doomsday trauma of having dealt or lived under a regime that we suffered greatly, electricity crisis. Then you would have every reason to be worried at the list of issues. Clearly, history tells us this is not the first time Asogli is shutting down for one or two reasons. In fact, TV3 did a reportage on 21st of September 2014 on a similar situation. You yourself at Joy on the 5th of May 2015 did something similar. You were the host on Asogli shutting down. And it comes to today. It tells us that the history tells us that we've had shake-ups 1 and 2 for 2 or more reasons. The challenge here is that we are all worried much more and shaky because we are afraid we may return to where we have gone to before. But if you look at the management of the new patriotic parties, composure in the energy sector and how we've handled the energy situation over the last 8 years, I am sure in my mind that what is happening is purely an operational and managerial issue. It will be dealt with. The fortitude and then the commitment from the Minister for Finance, the Minister of Energy, and the President himself is non-negotiable, is undoubted over the last 8 years. That is how come we've had such a level of stability in the energy space. I dare say that I'm not sure in the last 30 years of our country we've had any 8 years of an average stability as we've had. So what I believe in is that the negotiations with Asogli would continue. I'm told very well that it is ongoing. And I'm very much aware that the situation we find ourselves in with the issue of Asogli is purely a negotiation issue. Just like we've done over the last 8 years, I am very sure in my mind that we would handle it, would negotiate well, would do the necessary payment as we ought to do. And I agree that they are not a Father Christmas. But I also agree that government has demonstrated over the last 8 years that the people of this country will not be sent back to the abyss. Our mothers in the markets are worried. I'm sure coastal owners are worried, because if you are taking a loan some years back and your coastal business ran down because a government deliberately, grossly decided not to act on its reason, on its important issues, then you have every reason to be shocked and worried that are we going back? Last night when the lights went out, I'm sure everybody shouted, hey, you are worried. You are worried because you are probably suffering, like myself, from a post-trauma of a doomsday crisis that we experienced for 4 solid years. So I am sure that our posture and our output in managing the power situation in our country over the last 8 years would continue. Our negotiations with Asogli and all the IPPs would continue. Our strategies will ensure that we do not go back to where we've come from.
At that level, and also on the back of what the finance minister has said, at what level are they with that negotiation with that IPP?
Well, I think that from the finance minister, the issue had to do with the amount of payment, where there was a gentleman's agreement on 30 million. Later, the leadership of Asogli requested a 60 million. And then there was an issue with the signing of the terms of agreement. I think that is a managerial issue. Okay. So, and from what I have.
So from the explanation you're giving, when you say this is an operational managerial issue, what does it mean? Because you owe me, pay me. We have an agreement for us to be given the money to be credited at this point in time, and you haven't paid. You're saying it's an operational.
Roland, truly,
it's not a finance issue.
No, truly, it is a managerial and operational issue. Let me tell you.
Not a finance issue.
I'm coming. A managerial and operation has financing tied, so it is possible. What I'm saying is that just like every other business that operates on a contractual basis, where you usually work and you are paid, there are so much to do. There's so much to do with negotiations and managerial issues and arrangement and agreement in that space. And our energy sector over the last 30 years plus has been similar to that, and that is how we've been running it. So what I see here, it is not much of a big an issue. It is not much of a big an issue because these issues have gone on back to back to back, and there's been a commitment by this government every single time to ensure that the Ghanaian people do not bear the brunt or they do not bear the harsh realities of any power crisis as it may occasion or as it has been in history. So what I am saying again is that the management issues, the finance payment and the modalities as managed by government over 8 years is enough reason to assure the people of this country that the 4 years we experienced prior to the coming of this government will not be experienced again. And we gave that commitment, a firm one, that will not put these people, the people of this country, through such harsh treatment, harsh wickedness. Doomsday is nothing but wickedness. And I would not happy if I am put through such for 4 years, especially as a businessman. So it is understandable that the people of this country are jittery and they have every reason to be worried. We as a government have every reason to step up and do what the people of this country highly expect of the new patriotic party's government.
Well, Doc, at the end of the day, you say that there's every assurance that everything will be well, and that this one is just an operational managerial issue, even though I asked the question that it's purely a finance issue, because they say pay me.
Please. TV3 is a very, very, very big platform. The people watching us, they are also very, very educated. And
how do you mean?
Facts. My brother, I mean, before I get to the debate,
the substantive.
Yes. My brother Dennis has peddled a lot of very unfortunate, intellectually dishonest claims that I'm surprised that he's making. Look, this is a publication from Graphic Online, and it reads: Sunan Asogli backs on stream after 2-day shutdown, and Mr. Kwaku Shorley, who is the chairman of Sunan Asogli at the time, he said that he had some challenges with consistency of gas supply from West African gas pipeline.
The WAPO.
Yes, which sometimes caused it to halt operation. How can you compare a gas shutdown from WAPO to a $256 million debt owed to Sunan Asogli?
You are saying the two are not co-terminals?
They are not the same.
Why?
How? Your party has been in power, and I'm surprised that he's saying that the NPP has managed the energy sector very well. You come to power and accumulate to a tune of $2 billion debt in the energy sector, and you are here clapping for the government. This is sheer uselessness if I saw one. I must be very honest. If you saw one? Yes. And I have to be very, very honest with you. I have to be very, very blunt. Look, what is happening in the energy sector is only a tip of the iceberg. It forms part of a grand scheme, a grand agenda of complete irresponsibility, complete dishonesty, and mismanagement of every sector of the Ghanaian economy.
How has power got to do with mismanagement?
Hold on. From health, education, energy, everything. Look, every strategic buffer in this country has been depleted and disorganized by the NPP. Look, I've already mentioned to you that the energy sector is in debt of $2 billion. Get fund, Dachi bond, over $1.5 billion. We have depleted the sinking fund. ESLA PLC at a point in time was in debt over $6 billion. ECG alone is in debt of over 12 billion Ghana cedis. We are owing Nigerian gas. We are owing Ghana gas. Meanwhile, this is a government that has received more money than any other government. Look, that is why when I read about the investments of John Mahama in the energy sector, I am always happy to communicate and speak for him. When NDC John Mahama came into power, Roland, Ghana was in a deficit of about 650 megawatts, sorry. His investments in Ameri, Car Power, Amandi, Send Power, Asogli Phase 2 made sure that he had added 2,300 megawatts of power to our energy sector. NPP has come to power, they have added none. Not only did he increase our install capacity. What do you mean they've added? Hold on. Not only did he increase our install capacity, he also left us money in the Energy Sector Levy Act. As we speak, because of John Mahama's investment, his visionary leadership in making sure that Ghana has money to pay all the legacy debt in the energy sector, he left us 30 billion Ghana cedis in that ESLA. NPP comes into power because Omodie Edidi Prekone Eyomode instead of Edidi Dano. They took ESLA, securitized it for bonds, and they spent the money. Look, KPMG report tells us that the ESLA money, 700 million out of that money was used to pay SML, a company that had no influence in the energy sector, the company that had nothing to do with things in the energy sector, a company that themselves told us that they are a lame duck, they are sitting there as white elephants, they are not doing anything. Government took 700 million from that ESLA money, which is supposed to be used to pay this energy, to pay these IPPs and buy fuel. So today the ESLA John Mahama left, NPP has depleted it.
Well, the finance minister at the time, Keno Kuriata, said they went on a roadshow and we needed to raise the bonds.
Hold on. What has been the benefit of the bond? They have wasted the money. They took part of ESLA to pay other companies that do not have any impact in the energy sector. And so today, the money that is supposed to be used to pay IPPs are not being paid. And somebody says on TV and tells us that they are managing the energy sector very well. Roland, does it make sense to anybody? The IPPs, do they use leaves or peppers to buy their machines? Is it not money? So they are producing power for you. A visionary leader has left you money to pay them. You have spent the money and now you are gaslighting the same people who are producing power for you. Does this make sense? You are not adding anything to energy sector, but collapsing it at the same time.
What do you mean by they are not? At least we know that the energy minister had to announce that car power will be moved from a place, and we know that Western region taken to the Ashanti region. That's also to show up, and that's a way of having a good mix by making sure that power is available at certain sectors?
If you move a plant, has it increased its production? No. And so it is a fact. And so what we are seeing today, the spectacle we are seeing today, is as a result of gross mismanagement. And you see, in all of this, what has been Bawumia's influence in the energy sector? You recall that he conspired with fake energy companies like PDS, changed a condition precedent bank guarantee to a condition subsequent insurance guarantee, and gave them a fake insurance guarantee to dupe this country. In fact, the energy minister at the time told us that it was the biggest fraud perpetrated onto Ghana. We are told that because of that single act by Bawumia, Ghana lost over $2 billion, 500 million from the Millennium Compact 2. And so all the monies that are supposed to be available to ECG to pay all these IPP so that Ghana does not attempt to do so, because John Mahama did the heavy lifting and saved Ghana from doing so, for Bawumia to go and sit in the studio to say that in fact John Mahama has solved doing so, but we won't clap for him. You understand the point? He did all this, but you have come and wasted and spent Ghana's money. Massive corruption has greeted the energy sector and other sectors of the economy. And today, we are crying. Ghana is now short of about 500 megawatts, reaching about 12% of our national grid.
The argument that Mr. Labian Pofu makes is that it's not a prolonged one, it's just a short term.
Please. The people listening to us are equally educated. Everybody knows the issue, the reason why 500 megawatts of power has been lost. It is because government has spent all the monies to buy fuel and to pay IPPs. The money is gone. There is no money. You understand the point I'm making? They have wasted the money, and so the IPPs are crying. The IPPs, like I told you, they are also businessmen. You understand the point? They are also businessmen. They use money to buy their machines. You understand? Strategic measures have been put in place to make sure that there is always money to pay them. You come and spend the money, and now you are gaslighting the whole country. You are gaslighting IPPs, and you are pretending as if you have nothing to do about this. You understand the point I'm making? And so this is purely a mismanaged corruption issue. And if changes are not made in this regime, look, Ghana will struggle.
So at the end of the day, if you take a certain perspective of how forex losses have led to increase in the operational cost, the financing for these companies, we should be worried, because it means that we're on stilts. I mean, we're wobbling. The economy seems to have a direct correlation with how the IPPs are performing and we're able to pay them.
Exactly. And that is why I'm very surprised that the position of the MPP is that it is not a big of an issue.
Yeah, they say it's not prolonged. I mean, but that should be a good argument.
How can this not be a big issue? It's a very big issue, and that is the more reason why the people of this country must not give Dr. Bawumia 13%, because the truth of the matter is that he was brought in to deal with the issue of our exchange rate. If you listen to President Akua or then candidate Akua carefully, he said he wasn't good at economics, and for that matter, he couldn't manage the economy well, and it was the reason why he was bringing Dr. Bawumia on board. At the time candidate Akua was making that statement, the cedi to the dollar was 1:4.2. 1:4.2. This morning, through your benevolence, you just showed us. In fact, it is the buying rate that is 16.7. The selling rate is 17. So if you want to get $1, you will need 17 cedis to get $1. And that is where the problem is. And this one, whom do you blame? Is it not the government? In fact, government through its fiscal and monetary policies, it is the president that appoints the governor of Bank of Ghana, who is in charge of stabilizing our currency. It is the government that appoints the finance minister, who is in charge of our fiscal policies to stabilize our city.
So you're saying it's purely an economic issue. And that there's a correlation between mismanagement of the economy and how you are able to pay your debtors.
Absolutely, creditors. But the president and the government has admitted on countless occasions that they have mismanaged the economy. If you go and read their own manifesto, they agree that they have mismanaged the economy. And that is why today we are where we are. At the end of the day, nobody can say that Sonon Asogli has behaved in bad faith. Someone who has produced power to the tune of $259 million and you are saying the person is behaving in a bad faith, at worst, you must thank them for how far they have brought you. Because, mind you, they are also dealing with banks, international banks. They have their guarantees in place that with the least mistake, these guarantees will be called off to redeem whatever money they have. It has been advanced. And if you are having this challenge and you are telling me that you are not part of it, then where are we getting to? So clearly, this government has no business on this score alone. If we are a civilized country with civilized people that want to lead this country, they must immediately withdraw themselves from this race. Because for how long? Remember, as far back as June this year, this same Minister of Finance and by extension this government told us that they had done renegotiation with the IPPs.
I remember that.
And everything was done.
June, July.
So why are we where we are again? The same issue, they said, December of last year, we were told that, oh, they have been paying some $60 million. We are on track. Then we are back where we are. Today, they claim it's been done. Tomorrow, you will see that the real issues are there. And so all these problems that are rarely said, what it means is that the government that is taking over in 2025, they are only going to pass on these problems to the government. And that is where Ghanaians must address their minds to. That come 2025, we are not going to have it easy. Because they have come to mess up the place. They are leaving all this debt behind. So whoever is taking over is going to take over assets and liabilities. And these liabilities, you have to deal with it. But beyond that, that is why you need to go back to what each of the candidates are saying as part of strategy to deal with the problems that lies ahead. Remember, most of our inputs in the energy sector are imported. We cannot continue to be a country where we import everything in that sector. From cables to generators to transformers to whatever is imported. So as a country, to deal effectively with it, you must immediately begin to think of assembling or producing some of the components in this country to save you from your forex problems. Corruption. We must reduce it. How is it that Electricity Company of Ghana collects money through a private person? The person takes the money before he pushes the money back to Electricity Company of Ghana. And we are happy with it as a country. No one is talking about it. Now, it is an established fact. If you go to the Electricity Company of Ghana, every procurement is inflated by a factor of $150, 150%.
How do you come to that?
Oh, go and ask the PDS people. They themselves were complaining. It's a standard practice. Every procurement there is inflated by 150%. And that is why the Electricity Company of Ghana, in spite of all these increments, is unable to satisfy the IPPs. Mind you, if you look at our generation mix, the IPPs alone are producing more than 50% of our needs. So if you have a Minister of Finance who is just misbehaving, telling us that bad faith, and these IPPs decide to withdraw their services, we will be in total darkness. Mind you, in Genesis, when God created the earth, he said, let there be light. These people started giving us darkness. And why do you want to entertain people that are giving you darkness? Why must you entertain them? So clearly, it is a point, it is a fact that we must not entertain this. They have no solutions. They can't deal with the macroeconomic stability. They can't deal with issues of corruption because they themselves are culpable. They are benefiting from it. And that is why a debt of $259 million, we can sit down and say that we are paying SMA 1 billion Ghana cedis annually. Couldn't this money be used to defray part of the debt? Misplaced priorities. You look at the president looks at this and go invest $58 million in a hole. Couldn't this have been used to defray part of the debt so that we will have all year round electricity? So it's our own making. Mismanagement is the order of the day. And until Ghanaian voters begin to look at people as how they are, the way they have mismanaged the economy, and give them that verdict, that emphatic verdict, the cycle will continue, and that is my worry.
And we'll be in great difficulty.
Great difficulty.
Now, at the end of the day, we have to take a look at the system conditions, and we'll put that on the screens for you. Because if you look at the system condition, which is the daily, I believe it comes 3 times a day, then you will find that 10 p.m. yesterday, we were producing at a level which meant that we had a shortfall. And you'll find that, we'll put that on the screen. These are from our sources in the energy sector. So you'll find that Kosombo usually should be producing in excess of over 900 megawatts, was producing at what you find 835 megawatts. Subsequently, you take a look at Asogli, it's off. And that's a big problem for many of the players in the sector. Now, even though this is over 3,000, you will find that demand always increases, especially where the weather tends to be hot during the period when people are home or will be using it in the offices, etc. And I'm told that if you look at the current outages they're undertaking, they make sure that they don't do it for long hours. So they are doing it for some 4 hours, 3 hours, they move to some other areas, and so it's not prolonged, just to make sure that we're able to manage. Now, Derek, somebody will ask, is that a good thing, or perhaps should we just be managing, knowing that negotiations with Sunon Asogli will come back on stream and then they'll start producing, and so we shouldn't worry at all? Please unmute for me.
All right, so if you look at the system conditioning sheet that you were showing, I wish you had the data for before Sunon Asogli shutdown. If you check that data, you realize that before Sunon Asogli shutdown, we were still having a peak demand, a peak generation capacity of around 3,100 megawatts. But if you look at the data from Energy Commission, you realize that the projected peak demand for the year 2024 is 3,788 megawatts. And that is even an increment compared to what we experienced in December 2023. December 2023, the peak demand was around 3,618 megawatts. And so for it to generate power at 3,100, 3,200 megawatts, already you have a deficit of 500 megawatts or 600 megawatts, depending on the order of the day. And so that is what we are dealing with right now. Now, since the shutdown of Sunon Asogli, we are now generating power or producing power around 3,000 megawatts on average on daily basis. Now look at something. When Sunon Asogli shut down, the government of the day didn't want Ghanaians to have a high impact of it. So they brought on 2 ideal power plants. One of them is the Sen Power, and the Sen Power generates 360 megawatts on daily basis. Now look at something. The Sen Power operates on diesel. Sunon Asogli operates on natural gas. Natural gas is of a less cost as compared to diesel. Diesel is higher. And so why would you now go and bring an ideal power plant that will operate on diesel, which is of a higher cost? The other ideal power plant that we brought on board was the bridge power, giving us 160 megawatts. But look at the system condition sheet for yesterday. You realize that even the Bond thermal plant is off. And so that is even off right now. It's not generating any power. If you look at the Senate Power or the Senate Energy, they're also not generating any power as it stands as yesterday. The last time that the Bond thermal plants generated power was as far back 19th of October. And that was just around 105 megawatts. And so these are issues that we are dealing with. Already, we are not meeting our peak demand. Now, anytime that you have a shortage or where your demand is more than your supply, then you know that there will be an outage or there will be a shortage. That outage is what we are calling doomsday. Now, the doomsday that we are having right now is not much that is of a bigger challenge because this is a financial issue, not compared to a generational issue. A generational issue is what we experienced in 2015, and it takes a minimum of over 1 year to bring even an emergency power plant on board. And so what we are having right now is that the government of the day is micromanaging the issue. Probably tomorrow, they can have a credit facility where they'll just pump that money into it, pay the IPPs or pay those in the energy sector, and they tell them, okay, we saw the issue of in the energy sector, and as we told you, it is not something that is much of a worry. But look at something. We are not able to comply with the cash waterfall mechanism. Now, ECG sells the power, takes all the money, or in charge of revenue collection. How can you get megawatts of power and you are not able to sell it and give us the needed amount of money? And those in the value chain, you have to continue worrying you with it. It's not a good thing. And so let us find a way to address the distributional challenges in the energy sector, especially where we have a distributional loss of close to 30%. I don't know any company that can operate with a distributional loss of 30%.
All right. You make mention of the cash waterfall system, but just in 3 minutes, and then also the payment challenges thereof. The argument being made by Dr. Ayer here and then Solomon Owusu here, raising these allegations, trying to link it to forex issues, performance of the economy, etc. How are they in sync, or are they related? Because I'm thinking they are just making wild allegations, these two.
Well, if you take a look at the cash waterfall mechanism, it's in relation to money that has been collected by ECG. But you have to look at the tariff adjustment. You have an automatic tariff adjustment that takes place every quarterly basis. Now, on those quarterly basis, one of the factors that they consider when they want to adjust tariff is exchange rate depreciation losses. And so, when you get the final tariff that we are all supposed to pay, announced by PURC, then you don't expect that ECG will come and tell you that they are having issues with exchange rate depreciation losses, because that money has been factored into the tariff adjustment. And what Ghanaians are expecting is that you will be able to retrieve all the money. As it stands now, ECG is having a revenue collection rate of less than 50%. How can you have a revenue collection rate of 50% and expect to pay all those who have supplied you with power? There's nobody that will be able to operate at that level. And so ECG should be able to increase their revenue collection rate, and government should also, as a matter of urgency, give them what is supposed to be used to take care of the shortage, because the Ministry of Finance have an obligation to be able to shore up any money that will be as a result of shortages in the and that will be experienced by ECG. And so, not issues with foreign exchange as it stands there, because the foreign exchange has been factored into the tariff adjustment.
And if you look at the forex differentials, Dennis, it means that the blame is squarely on the table. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, head of the economic management team, had made promises enormously, and the conclusion is that just in the run-up to this election, the verdict when it comes to the monetary as well as the fiscal policy management side doesn't have a good record. The scorecard is not good. How do you defend that?
Well, before I come to the issue of the forex and the scorecard you bring on board, let's correct some erroneous impression from Sami here. Sami talks about the MPP's inability to add even a megawatt of power to our generation capacity. Let him take the National Energy Sector Statistics from Energy Commission, page 5, section 3, table 3 and 1. Installed capacity, that's of 2016 December, 3,794. Dependable capacity 3,481. 2022, that same Energy Commission report, page 10, table 3.2. Installed capacity 5,454. Dependable capacity 4,843. Renewable alone, 2016 we were generating 37.7. 2023, as it stands now, latest report, we are generating 171.8. The difference, it is my grandmother that rose from earth and added it. It is not MPP.
Why, your grandmother is dead?
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, my grandmother is dead. He says MPP has not added anything. So I'm saying that the difference, as per the Energy Commission, it was added by my grandmother.
So you are debunking that?
Clearly, it is falsehood. He talks about intellectual dishonesty without being able to prove that what I said was right or wrong. He was talking about irresponsibility. Do you know what is irresponsibility? I'll show you what is irresponsibility. Irresponsibility is when a market woman goes for a loan and they come and sit here, use gibberish, use language, grammar, to tell the market woman that the doomsday she experienced is not relevant because John Mahama solved it. When in October, John Jinapo, sitting on Joy, admits that the doomsday challenge is as a result of money. What is irresponsibility? Irresponsibility is when people have to gather around Bobo and Kendo to learn. And today, you who superintended over that, call me or my government that has ensured that there is stable light without recourse to anything irresponsible. He talks about tips of the iceberg. Ghanaians will not enter the iceberg to know what is at the tip, because they have shown us what is in the iceberg. What is in the iceberg is an energy sector that he claims that it is burdened by a debt of $2 billion. When in 2016 December, Muta Wakil of the NDC, ranking member of Energy on Finance, speaks to 2017 and says that they left an energy sector a debt of $2.5 billion. So what are you telling me? What the reality is now is that the people of this country are the real judges when it comes to the energy situation. It is not the numbers you give here. It is not the English and grammar you give here. The people of this country know who the Doomsday father is. Let me take you to the New York Times. New York Times called John Mahama Mr. Power Cut President. BBC calls him Power Cut President. That is John Mahama. He is the boss.
What do you mean they call him Power Cut President?
Yeah, that's the name they gave to him.
Who?
New York Times. There's a publication of New York Times on December 26, 2016. They call him the end of Ghana's Power Cut President. That is John Mahama. The legacy of John Dramani Mahama is nothing but consistent growth in attitude of managing an energy sector that was bequeathed to him, that didn't have the doomsday that he inherited. This is what BBC calls him. And I really wish we didn't have to get into this. They call him Ghana election. Can Mr. Power Cut John Mahama win a second term? Let us never ever entertain the NDC when it comes to energy sector and the politics of it, because they do not have the credibility. You can talk about all the figures and all the things here and lie through your teeth, but the judgment lies with the people of this country who has given them electricity, who has ensured that the light in their home stay on. When we give a country to you, challenges will come, like John Mahama himself said it. And that is the reason why John Dramani Mahama does not himself speak to the issue of energy sector. Have you ever heard John Mahama speak to it in recent times? Can he campaign on it?
I think that he's spoken on it many times.
What did he say? The only thing he can say, Roland, the only thing John Mahama can say is admittance of his ineptitude in managing the energy sector. And that is why he sends Sami Aye and their likes to TV to come and attempt to defend why people had to die under electricity outages. So now let me finish. Hold on, Roland. I'll allow you. Roland, it's your show. I'll allow you. Let me clear this.
So the point you're trying to make is
there's another lie from
the point you are trying to make.
I beg you. Let me just clear this one.
Let me also ask it, and then you can conclude.
Okay.
It's there. You've written it there. So the point you're trying to make is that comparatively, you look at the power situation today, and then the long period of power outages we experienced prior to 2017. This is better.
Roland, that is not even for me to say. Okay. The Ghanaian people will do that judgment. When John Dramani Mahama was leaving office, the electricity coverage of this country was 79.3% by the World Bank data. Today, it is 88.85%. He talks about Dachi bond at Get Fund. That is where these guys do not read and learn. There is nothing like Dachi bond at Get Fund today. So when you come and sit on national television, do not lie. Do not parade yourself as though you have every data when you know nothing about what is happening in this country. There is nothing like Dachi bond at the Get Fund office. As we speak, there is nothing like that. It was absorbed in December through the domestic debt exchange program. So where from these concocted lies? Let us look at the situation. The situation is that the Ghanaian people have a responsibility going into December 2024. And I would spare Mr. Solomon Owusu. I would spare him. But what the Ghanaian people have on their hand is the 4 years that they were challenged with consistent power outages, with excuse upon excuse. And let me ask John Dramani Mahama and his NDC this. Even if they were building a nuclear power plant to bomb Hiroshima, they would have solved doing so in 4 years. Even if they were building a power plant, a nuclear reactor to bomb Ghana, they would have done it in 4 years. You do not spend 4 years of our time collapsing businesses, killing people, ensuring that we do not get electricity to manage our lives. And then you come and sit here today and tell us about numbers which do not reflect in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. What the Ghanaian is facing, I have said it earlier, is a post-doomsday trauma. And that is how come when the light go out for even a minute or a second, Ghanaians are afraid. They feel as though John Mahama is back into office. But Ghanaians have the assurances of this government that doomsday will not return, and that we will continue like we've done in 8 years, manage the energy sector, manage it consistently. And Derek sits at home and attempts to whitewash John Dramani Mahama's doomsday to call it what happened in 2015. I understand him because he, sitting at home, is strongly campaigning for John Dramani Mahama on Facebook. So I understand why he will attempt to whitewash. But the Ghanaian know that 2013 we had power crisis, 2014 we had power crisis, 2015 we had, and 2016 October, as I have proven to you by John Jinapo's own admittance, July 26, published by the Daily Graphic, by John Dramani Mahama's own admission, A failure to handle Dumso. He talks about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia admitting. This is the context of it. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was responding to a State of the Nation's address by John Mahama, which he boastfully said he has solved Dumso. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says, if you solved Dumso, you do not deserve credit. And the fact also shows that he did not solve Dumso. That's why in July of that same year, he came to admit that Dumso is not over. That is why the Deputy Minister of Energy that same year came to admit that the challenge of Dumso was financed. Now, what is the matter and square of here? We've been able to prove to you that the energy issue and capacity generation issue by Sami Aye and his NDC is a lie that they've been peddling around over the last 8 years, that MPP has not added, MPP has not added. And I've proven to you that only renewable energy, we inherited 37.7 megawatt. Today it stands at 171.8 megawatt. That is the difference. That difference was not brought on board by my grandmother. And he comes again to lie about that. And we've proven to you that these are lies, lies, lies. What they hope to do and what they are waiting for. And that is why they cannot campaign on their own track record. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says that if you give him the power, this is his proposal. Let us add solar 2,000 megawatt. Add solar 2,000 megawatt and ensure that our generation mix is stable, ensure that power prices come down, ensure that we have stable electricity. Because the NDC and John Mahama lacks their credibility and track record, they are unable to even put forth a plan on dealing with it, because we will remind them that he is called by the BBC and New York Times Mr. Power Cut President. Thank you.
All right. I have to establish that by January, when the MPP government took office, there was no Dumso. You agree to that?
I don't agree.
Okay. That's your
Roland,
point.
Thank you very much. I believe that you give me the same time to completely dismiss and expose the lies peddled by Dennis. Look, I listened to him for the past 10 minutes. He could not mention one plant by MPP. One plant. As I sit here, I can mention on all fours that when Ghana was struck with Dumso, unlike President Kufuor in 2007, he paraded pastors from Nsawam, Apeja, Tolon, Sanarigu to go and pray at Akosombo so that the rains will fall to increase our hydropower. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama didn't do that. In his 2015 State of Nations address, he told the country that he is a man of integrity. He is a man of his own words. So he will solve Dumso. He will take the bull by its horn. He will not solve Dumso by parading pastors. So do you know what he did? Look, he brought in a Mary. He brought in Send Power. He brought in Asogli Phase 2. You understand the point I'm making? He brought in Amandi. Do you know what he did in addition? He said that all these plants may use gas to power their engines. So do you know what? Through a $1 billion facility, he established the Akua gas plant, which is producing 1 million cubic feet of gas to power our plants. That is what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did to solve Dumso. Bawumia went and sat in the studio Enjoy FM in 2016 March that Bahama has solved Dumso, but will not applaud him. That is the investment John Dramani Mahama did. And he says that John Dramani Mahama doesn't have a plan for energy sector. Hey, you that has a plan, you are in debt of about $2 billion. Please keep quiet.
Feel free to talk.
If you talk again, I will shout on you, please.
You will shout on me.
Please.
When you were talking, I was quiet.
When you were talking, please. Let's not get
No.
Dennis, no.
I don't have a problem. When you were talking, I was quiet.
But you don't tell
when
me
you were talking, I was quiet.
It is. I don't have a problem. I can keep quiet. But he does not have any.
It is.
Roland.
You are being very please.
It was my own grandmother.
Please.
He called us irresponsible.
Please.
I am saying
I have a problem. Please. Why are you doing this?
He does not tell me shout out this.
What is this?
That's simple.
So this is the rule. When you were talking, nobody interjected you. So is it fair?
No problem.
Okay. Please.
He has not been able to tell us on this platform what exactly MPP did to make sure that by July 2017 there was no Dumso. You understand the point? The energy minister told us, is he more credible and informative than the energy minister, Peter Mewu? He said it's fact. They have not added any power to our national grid. And so fine, you can do the politics. But viewers watching us this morning know beyond doubt that when it comes to solving of Dumso, a protracted problem of that nature, the accolades must be laid at the doorstep of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Look, when they overspent the money John Mahama left and they couldn't get money to buy fuel and Ghana was struck with Dumso, what was the response of the then energy minister Napo? He said Ghanaians should go and publish their own timetable. That he will not publish their timetable today, he will not publish the timetable tomorrow. He has now teamed and paired with Bawumia, the man who is head of Ghana's economic management team, who has borrowed more than anyone in this Fourth Republic. They have paired and they are going around the country campaigning. Such a disastrous pair. They have the effrontery to look us in the face and campaign after they have destroyed every fiber of our national life. So I don't blame anybody. It is the people of Ghana who must watch us this morning and know the difference. That when it comes to the solving of Dumso in this country, there is a man called John Dramani Mahama who bought us power plants, who established a gas processing factory to produce gas to power our plants, who left us money in the form of ESLA to a tune of 30 billion Ghana cedis as accrued by this government to make sure that Ghana is out of Dumso. I am happy. As for the politics of it, they can do it. No problem. But we all know that the man who solved Dumso is Excellency John Dramani, and he has mentioned to this country that he is not irresponsible. Look, John Mahama did not say that if I solve all the problems today, what will I solve tomorrow? Today there's a problem of shutdown of Sonon Ashogli power plant. What is Bawumia's solution to it? He has none. He said he won't solve it today, because if he solves it today, what will he solve when he wins power? This is the highest mark of irresponsibility by a leader who has already had 8 years and has failed in the energy sector, has failed in the management of economy. He said that today he has run away saying that he's a lame duck. He is as useless as a white elephant. Just the president told us that the one managing Ghana's economy is Bawumia. He has gone around delivering lectures. Today he is telling us that he's a lame duck. John Mahama will never do that. He takes the bull by the horn. He takes responsibility and solves the issue. He will not meet media men and tell them that he cannot solve the issues today, because if he solves it today, what will he solve tomorrow? That is the leader that I am happy to talk for. I am happy to eulogize. I am happy to tell the whole country listening to me this morning that this is a leader who has done it before. This is the leader who has the track record. This is the leader who ingeniously solved a problem, an albatross that had been hanging on our neck for several years. And that's the leader that I am proud about. As for the forest issues you spoke about, the verdict is clear. Bawumia said that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Except that today, the three words that he cannot mention is economy, dollar, and exchange rate. He cannot mention it because it has badly exposed the talkative Bawumia. You understand the point I'm making?
How so?
Oh, what is
because
the
I asked only the specific question, and then he went on a tirade.
He cannot answer.
How this is linked to the economy?
He cannot answer.
How so?
What is the exchange rate today? Today you need 16 cedis, 70 pesos to get $1. Do you need a businessman selling car in Spintex or a spare part dealer in Kokompe to know that Bawumia has failed? To know that it is the policies of Bawumia that has made sure that their businesses have collapsed. It is the policies of Bawumia that has made sure that today Ghana's port is an idle as a cemetery, because everybody is directing traffic and freight to Togo because of high import taxes imposed by the same Bawumia who has run away from the economic debate and is chasing Steve Jobs, is chasing IT and digitalization. You understand the point I'm making? And so it is a fact. Every Ghanaian in Ghana knows that the man who has been at the helm of affairs of our economy, our energy sector, and the general management of Ghana's economy is Bawumia. And he has fled from the debate, no amount of explanations will save the MPP from this obvious fact. You understand the point I'm making? So it is clear.
Now, so looking at where we're heading,
yes,
and knowing that we're not doing well with the currency, the economy, you look at the latest World Bank Post reports, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Ghana, the CD plummeting, the West in the sub-region, doesn't look good, does it?
It doesn't look good.
How do we meander the curve?
I mean, we don't even need the World Bank report. Either do we need the IMF to tell us that we are in some form of difficulty. Your own circumstances locally. If you go to the market, are you able to buy kenke and those things? People are not able to eat 3 square meals a day in our current setting. So there is no doubt that we are in difficulty. The solution lies in, Roland, diversifying this economy. If we continue to do the same things over and over again, we will get the same results. And that is why my candidate, Alan Chamante, is professing 10 strategic anchor industries, which is to focus on the petrochemical industry, focus on the industrial sector, iron and steel, focus on pharmaceutical, focus on vegetable oils, focus on, what's the name, electronics, things that we are importing, that is shipping our money and jobs out of
big import substitution policy.
Absolutely.
And strategy.
And strategy. That is the only way, Roland. Either than that, a year by this time, we will still come back here and be talking about these same issues. And that is why I'm so disappointed with the over-concentration on policies like digitalization. What has digitalization got to do with planting of corn? We must not busy ourselves in this sort of this charade. Before Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came with digitalization, my boys at the ghettos, they were doing Yahoo Yahoo. Who told him he brought digitalization into this country? You get my point? So we have to be serious as a country. The people are hungry. The only way is to invest in agriculture. And that is what Alan is telling you. The new agricultural revolution. Where big farms, commercial farms will be entertained in this country. Roland, if you are satisfied through your belly, you are okay. There is no noise. But if you are hungry, would you even think about doing programming? So clearly, it's a misplaced strategy that we are all adopting. And it is for Ghanaians to go back into what each of the political parties and independent candidates are promising the people of this country. We have given you a plan. When you come to the energy sector, I have already told you that the generation mills, the thermal aspect of it is more than the hydro. We are saying that we intend to introduce what we call the mini hydros. During Buzier's time, we attempted that policy. We would bring it back because hydro is cheaper than thermal. And even if we are going to keep some percentage of thermal production, we intend to establish a special credit lines for the supply of gas and crude. That is what Alan is promising you. That is why I've been entreating the people of this country to listen attentively to what Mr. Alan Chamante is telling you. Other than that, if you are going to focus on someone who is in power now, the vice president, is it not interesting? He is the vice president of the land. He's telling you that when I get the opportunity, what are you doing with the power that you have today? Total waste of our time. That you have power today and you are telling us that, oh, as for the power you have given, that is not necessary. Wait for 2025 before you begin constructing 2,000 megawatts of solar energy. What have you done with the almost 8 years that you got? How many megawatts through solar energy that were you able to give to this country? Look, we are very serious in this country. And people must not be trivial politics. I have power today. Think of it. You brought us e-levy. Now I saw some people holding placards at the Tetekwashi interchange. Vote for us to remove e-levy. Is it not insult to your intelligence? You gave us e-levy. You have the power to remove that tax today. You said, no, I won't do that unless 2025. You brought betting tax. You said, oh, vote for me again. When I come, I'll remove it. So what sort of human beings are we dealing with? And that is why Ghanaians must be sharper enough, because under Article 42 of our Constitution, the Electoral Commission is enjoined to register people with sound mind. The only reason why it is there is that that sound mind has to lead to that voting of a sound person. If you don't use that sound mind to go and vote for someone with a sound mind to lead this country, I'm telling you, we will struggle. But I trust in the judgment of the Ghanaians that the Ghanaian will make the right decision and then trust the destiny of this country into the hands of that sound leader, Alan Chamanti, to take us out of this mess.
Now, Derek, if we take a look at the statement and what you're picking up as the Institute of Energy Security, where are we heading? And what needs to be done quickly?
Roland, we just have to hope that the people that the government of Ghana owes, whether it is ENI, whether it is WAPO, whether it is the independent power producers, they do not implement the shutdown policy because immediately they all decide to implement a shutdown policy, just like the Sonny Nasogri, we will not have any alternative because where we are heading to, we don't want to go into and experience the dire consequences of doom. So as it stands right now, we are not supposed to get anywhere near doom. So because if you look at it, if you look at the data by Energy Commission, we have a higher dependable capacity. Our dependable capacity, as published by the Energy Commission, is around 4,800 megawatts on daily basis, with an installed capacity which is about 5,000 megawatts. There's nowhere you should be able to experience doom. So when your peak demand is around 3,788 megawatts, that is a fact. If you have a peak demand of 3,788 megawatts with a dependable capacity of over 4,800 megawatts, that is excess capacity. That excess capacity is supposed to be used for export. And when you export power, you get more money. And that even improves your financial statement. And so we should not be anywhere near them. So what we are experiencing right now is total lack of money. We don't have the financial capacity. And the government of the day should be frank with Ghanaians. Let Ghanaians know that we can look for money within the shortest time, pay those that we are owing, so that we do not get to the point where they will implement a shutdown policy. I'm sure all Ghanaians that are looking for it, that will wake up the next day and then they'll have power for their lives and livelihoods. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Derek, there. Let me just go through a couple of the messages here. I already have Rex, who says it's only a lazy or inept craftsman that says that his tools have been borrowed by a colleague. Now, if you have the vice president, who also is a presidential candidate, acting in the same capacity on both sides, then he should do what is needful. And when we come also onto our console, we have a number of them. This one is coming from Kofi Annan. He says, again, remind viewers and everybody on your panel that the KPMG report did reveal that SML received 720 million Ghana cedis from Esla's 2.45 billion revenue. And remember, Esla has been collateralized. The bond that they went on a roadshow for was called Dachi Bond. So what is being said here? Now, Master Planner Jr., Kentampo says, what the MPP did to end Dumso was clearing the debt of $2.5 billion in which ECG alone owed the Mahama government $2.6 billion. Nana Bawumia government cleared all these areas to make our electricity stable. We are not going back to the Mahama Dumso era where businesses collapse. It is possible with DMB. Dr. Akua Segbefia says, Roland, tell the young man there, it is insulting to tell Ghanaians it wasn't your grandmother who caused Dumso. It may be not insulting and an expression in vernacular, but telling people on live television is disrespectful. He should do his politics well. He's a young man coming, you say. Evans Dinko Gary says, Roland, on solar energy, President Mahama commissioned 4 megawatt solar energy that was built in 2012 and commissioned in 2013. So the solar power strategy has always been on. 4 hectares of land in Navrongo. Come and I will show you. That is what we're talking about. So we have a couple more. So this one is coming from Kofi Teman Oyarifa, who says, please remind Dennis that he's a young man. He should take his time when trying to defend because he has, okay, I think that message has been put forward already. We have more money. Money Neiman, says, good morning. Please ask Dennis, did Kufo not send pastors to pray at Akosombo because of Dumso? Dumso has always been with us. What's the solution now? Because as at now, we're not investing. The problems in our power generation are purely problems caused by the current government. They have misused all the financial resources left behind by the former president and his government. They have misused the proceeds of ESLA in areas that have nothing to do with the power sector. For example, they used 1 billion to pay pension arrears, 600 million, and spent 400 on free SHS. They created a company called ESLA PLC and put their people there feeding fat on ESLA proceeds. And that is the reality. Well, gentlemen, Dennis, thank you very much. Nice to have you. And then Dr. Ayo also as well. And then also Solomon Owusu, my man, always for the moment. And Derek, thank you also from the Institute of Energy and Security. Good morning to you. Nana Mwesi, who is the Executive Director for the Institute for Energy Security. When we called you, you were able to help us. But let's also tell you about how you have to step into the world of DEWA 539. And it's for your chances to be big as you win with DEWA Direct and DEWA Chop Money. Now with DEWA Direct, all you need today is to make sure you dial *446#. You pick the range of the numbers 1 to 39. You also get to win big 20 times, 40 times, and 400 times your stake. And you win cash every evening at 7 p.m. And on Sundays, the draw is at 6 p.m. So early birds also love DEWA Chop Money. So at 10 a.m., the dial should be on. *446# is always a short code. And you can also go online. So dewa-nla.com, always available for you. And that's where we'll have to take a break. Remember, we'll try as much as possible to bring you some live proceedings from Parliament if we can. And we have to be monitoring as Parliament reconvenes today. But certainly, please, let's give you the latest as it is. And you can always cash out *439# and choose option 2, TV3. And with that, you also get money credited into your mobile money account. Real-time money. Increase the number of tickets for yourselves because, look, I always love it. Mega Jackpot, that was on Friday. We had 6 people winning each 5,000 Ghana cedis. We're taking a break.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawku, #1 on the ballot.
Santex and Crown Paints. Excellent paint that is resistant to peeling, mold, algae, and fungus. It comes in a wide range of colors with high opacity, high spread rate, and dries fast with no afterpaint stench. Santex and Crown Paints are distributed by Bamson Company Limited. Locate us at Sickens House, Old Fatima Road, South Industrial Area, Accra, or any of our branches in Adabraka, East Legon, Tema, and Adum in Kumasi. Call or WhatsApp us on 0573839640. Santex and Crown Paint. It's not just paint, it's personal.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from unique natural herbs to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, a trunk.
You know me as the musician, but today I come to you as the owner of OK World Travel and Tours. I created this travel and tour solution because I wanted to give you an experience that you have trusted already, that you can still trust. I know a lot of people have been to Dubai and Qatar already, but I know you have not been to Dubai and Qatar in the new year. So if you have not been, we are going from 31st of December to 6th January. Come and go with us. For only $3,000, we are going to cover your visa support. We are going to give you 4-star accommodation. We are going to give you food, all breakfast, some dinners and some lunches, and it will be amazing. On a yacht ride, you are going to have a great time. So call 0544-355-777. And don't forget to bring the whole family. We close entry on 22nd of November. See ya.
The luckiest.
*712#.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing from your one line. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, we'll ready. We have *712#. Put your phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. *712#. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, who's here? You're buying for me, right?
Or who else? Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you. Sickle cell, cancer, diabetes,
hypertension, and other heart conditions to support and ease the financial burden on families like ours. Mama, but that is not all. Ghanaians can access free health care when they go to the CHIPS compound, health centers, clinics, and polyclinics. Mama, we have to vote wisely for Kobene's sake. Mama, wipe your tears. Wipe your tears. Mahama cares.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
An inspiring tale of love, hope, and perseverance. This is Faltu, which means useless. Being born into a feudal family in rural Rajasthan means Faltu faces ill treatment and disrespect from everyone except her father and her cousin Pratap. Having been born a girl child, Faltu defies societal norms and fights against all odds to achieve her dreams of becoming a cricketer. Fate brings Faltu into contact with Ayan, a former cricketer from Mumbai who is visiting her village.
फालतू के क्रिकेट ने इतना बड़ा नुकसान करवा दिया मेरा.
Impressed by Faltu's strength and determination, Ayan helps her to pursue her dreams of being a professional cricketer, falling in love with her in the process. Ayan is engaged to Tanisha, a woman from his extended family circle. Will Faltu and Ayan overcome the numerous obstacles to their love? Get all the answers to these questions and more in Faltu, a tale of hope, determination, and love. Catch Faltu Mondays to Fridays at 6 p.m. on TV3.
If you need some money.
Charge your phone and dial *439# because we're cashing out every weekday morning on the show. Yesterday we had 6K to give. Today we have 4K to give. So dial now *439#. Roland says that you should buy about 25 tickets. So you play like 25 times. When you get to the point where they ask you how many tickets, you say 25. And then you win. 1,000 Ghana cedis on the show this morning. School has reopened. The school placement, the list is out. So children are going to school. This is a good time to win. The 1,000 cedis can buy you some of the provisions. You know, the gari, sugar, milk, Milo, groundnuts, and it can even make shit all. So play this morning and win. *439#. We're giving out money hot this morning on the show. But before that, it's time for sports.
Back Caruso up to